Ever heard of a tree so feared, so revered, that it became the center of a mysterious cult in colonial America? Forget everything you think you know about the Salem witch trials. Today, we're diving deep into a story that's been whispered about for centuries. A story that's far stranger and more unsettling than what you read in history books. We're talking about the legend of the witch tree. Picture this, it's the late 17th century. The air is thick with paranoia and superstition. In a small, isolated New England town, deep in the woods, stands a gnarled, ancient oak. Alara didn't deny her connection to the old ways. She claimed her knowledge was passed down through generations, a wisdom that came from the earth itself. The witch tree, she said, was the heart of this power. She began to attract followers, not just the poor and downtrodden, but respected members of the community, farmers, merchants, even the wife of a town elder. They were people who felt disillusioned with the strict, unforgiving nature of Puritan society. They sought something more, a spiritual connection that the rigid church couldn't provide. Under the cloak of darkness, they would gather at the tree. The rituals were said to be a mix of European folk magic and twisted interpretations of Christian rites. They would leave offerings at the tree's roots, bundles of herbs, carved wooden figures, and drops of their own blood. They believed that by doing this, they could commune with the spirits of the land, gain knowledge of the future, heal the sick, and even protect their crops from blight. It was a radical, dangerous act of rebellion against the established order. For a time, the cult operated in complete secrecy. Their numbers grew, and their influence began to seep into the fabric of the town. Strange things started to happen. A farmer who had mocked the cult found his entire herd of cattle mysteriously fall ill and die overnight. A woman who threatened to expose them was found wandering in the woods days later, her mind gone, muttering incoherently about dancing shadows and a whispering tree. Coincidence, or was the cult's magic real? The official narrative, pushed by the church leaders, was that Satan was at work, preying on the weak, but some suspected the truth was far more human and far more terrifying. The cult wasn't just a group of harmless eccentrics. They were accumulating real power, manipulating the town's fears to their own advantage. The turning point came with the arrival of a new, zealous magistrate named Phineas Blackwood. Blackwood was a man obsessed with rooting out heresy. He heard the whispers about the strange gatherings in the forest, and the unnatural influence of Alara. He saw the witch tree cult not as a spiritual movement, but as a direct challenge to his authority and God's law. He was determined to crush it. Blackwood began his investigation not with accusations, but with infiltration. He sent a spy, a young man named Thomas, to join the cult and report back on their activities. Thomas was torn. He was a devout man, but he was also drawn to the sense of community and acceptance he found among the followers. He saw that they weren't devil worshippers, but people searching for hope in a bleak world. Alara in particular was not the monster she was painted to be, but a charismatic leader who genuinely believed she was helping her people. Thomas's reports to Blackwood were conflicted. He described the rituals, the chanting, the offerings, but he also described acts of kindness, healings, and a community bound by a shared, secret faith. This wasn't what Blackwood wanted to hear. He twisted Thomas's words, turning rituals of nature worship into evidence of demonic pacts. The stage was set for a confrontation. One cold autumn night, as the cult gathered for a sacred harvest ritual under the witch tree, Blackwood and his militia sprung their trap. They surrounded the clearing, torches casting long, menacing shadows. Panic erupted. Some tried to flee into the dark woods, while others stood frozen in terror. "This unholy gathering ends tonight," Blackwood declared, his voice booming through the trees. He accused them of witchcraft, of dancing with the devil, of bringing a curse upon the town. Elara responded, her voice clear and steady. "We worship the life that flows through this land, a power you have forgotten. You see the devil where there is only nature." What happened next is a matter of legend. Some say a sudden violent storm erupted out of a clear sky, with lightning striking the ground near the militia. Others say the symbols on the tree began to glow with an eerie light, and a great gust of wind swept through the clearing, extinguishing the militia's torches and plunging them into darkness. The witch tree itself was deemed a cursed object. They tried to cut it down, but the axes of the strongest men would mysteriously break against its bark. They tried to burn it, but the flames wouldn't catch. Defeated, they left it standing, a dark monument in the heart of the woods, a permanent reminder of the secrets it held. The town slowly returned to a semblance of normalcy, but the fear never truly left. The legend of the witch tree and its vanished cult became a cautionary tale whispered to children for generations. Did the tree, their object of worship, somehow protect them, spiriting them away to another realm? Some even claim to have found fresh offerings at its base, small, carved figures and bundles of herbs, identical to the ones the cult was said to have used. Was the cult still active, operating in the shadows for hundreds of years, or were these the echoes of a powerful, long-ago ritual, forever imprinted on the landscape? This story challenges our modern understanding of the witch trials. It suggests that amidst the hysteria and false accusations, there may have been groups who were actively practicing what their accusers feared. They weren't cartoon villains cackling over a cauldron. They were complex people, building a new, radical spirituality in defiance of a repressive society. The witch tree cult represents a fascinating what-if in American history. What if the so-called witches weren't just victims, but rebels fighting a hidden spiritual war? The legend of the witch tree serves as a powerful symbol of the clash between old-world beliefs and new-world order, between organized religion and folk spirituality. It's a dark, forgotten chapter of American folklore that reminds us that history is often far stranger and more mysterious than we're taught. The truth of what happened under those twisted branches may be lost to time, but its haunting story continues to echo through the deep, dark woods of New England. Thanks for joining me on this journey into one of America's spookiest legends. What do you think happened to the cult? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoy exploring the hidden corners of history, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more mysteries. See you next time.